Today we're going to be making cupcakes with our clay. Before I start, I'm going to notice you have a rag at your table in between you and the next person. That's going to be what you wipe your hands on. We're not getting up. We're not getting clay all over the room. You need to wipe your hands on the rag. Also, I want you to look at the letter that's written on your table. And that's going to be, this is a D, that's going to be a letter that's going to tell you what job you're going to do at the very end. And I'll tell you about your jobs later. Now the clay, we watched a video on what clay is. This is very squishy. You're going to take your clay, you have a thing of clay, and you're going to break it into two pieces. Just break, right like that. And then you're going to roll it. My hands are already dirty from another project. Yours won't be. You're going to roll it into a ball. Doesn't have to be perfect. This should take you about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. You're done. Take your finger, your thumb, and stick it in there. Don't stick it all the way in. And kind of squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Notice how quickly I did that. I want everyone to finish today. If you spend a long time doing each step, you will not have a cupcake by the end of the class. Then you stick it in here, and I'm just going to squish it. And, I have a hole in the bottom of mine, so I'm just going to put my clay right over there and fix it. The great thing about clay is you can fix your mistakes. Now I have too much clay on the top, so I can take some of it off, and I'm going to smooth it so it's even with the top here. Just so it's even with my cupcake liner. And I'm going to keep it right in my cupcake liner. I'm going to go around, and later, when we get these back, you're going to be able to put something inside of there. It's going to be a pot. Now, you might remember from the video, this needs to dry. The clay is going to have to dry for a week. It's going to have to go in the kiln, and then we will decorate them. Right now, we're just making the pot out of clay. The next clay you're going to take, and you're going to very quickly roll it in a ball. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Take your thumb, put your thumb in, and then you're going to squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn. How many hands am I using? Using 2 hands. So squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn. And you want it to fit on top of your cupcakes. This is going to be our cupcake pot with your lid. You're going to squeeze and turn, and then you're going to decide how you want to decorate your pot. Now when our clay gets little cracks in it, we take one finger, and we dip our finger into our water, and we can smooth out the cracks. We do not stick our hands in the pot. We do not stick our rags in the pot. We do not stick our clay in the pot. We only put one finger in the pot. That's enough water to smooth out the clay. That's the only reason that water is there. You should not be putting anything but one finger in your water. Now when you're done, a good way to make it look like icing is I have this clay and water, and this has been actually sitting in my back kiln room all year, and look, it got nice and smooth, and it almost feels like icing. I'm going to pretend it's icing, and I'm going to pretend that my popsicle stick is a knife. And I'm going to spread that icing around, not icing, clay. I'm pretending to put the icing on. I'm going to spread it around. You don't have to. You can kind of decide how you want to do it. If you want to make it look like it's icing, or maybe it's whipped cream, and just kind of make some patterns in there. If you want to do a cherry on top, you're going to roll the clay, a little piece of clay, and you can make a little stem, and you can stick it in there really good. And then I'm going to come around at the end of class, or towards the end, and I'm going to help you pop these off. These can be a little tricky to take off. So you kind of get your finger in there, and I can't put these in the kiln, this blue thing in the kiln. What would happen if I put it in a kiln like as hot as a volcano? What would happen? It would just melt. But clay does not melt. Clay, like you saw in the video, will turn hard. And then I have my cupcake pot.